Good evening and welcome to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. We have quite a diverse range of topics for you tonight. Find out what they are coming up tonight on Feedback. Good evening and welcome to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. As I said, quite a diverse amount of topics we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next segment is actually an interview I taped a few weeks ago with Dale Luthringer. He is the Environmental Education Coordinator, I think that's what it is, out of Cook Forest State Park. He's going to tell us about some of the things that are available out there for you to do. That's coming up. Also a little bit later in the show, we're going to be speaking with the author of this book, the Dave Matthews Band, Step Into the Light, Morgan Delancey. That is coming up later in the show. So we're going to go ahead right now and take a break. When we come back, it'll look like I did an instant change of clothes, as sometimes I do. But it was actually an interview we taped a few weeks ago with Dale Luthringer from Cook Forest State Park. Stay with us. Feedback continues after the break. Grant from Clarion Hospital. Clarion Hospital is located off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Clarion Hospital offers outpatient services, transitional care, as well as an emergency room open around the clock every day of the year. More than 400 employees and 80 physicians work to serve the community. Call the Clarion Hospital at 226-9500. Clarion Hospital, providing health care to Clarion County and surrounding communities since 1954.
Hey kid, boyfriend wants to know if that girl will go out with him. Pass it down.
Hey, Grandma, ask the girl on the end if she wants to go out with this loner.
The young man wants to know if the girl over there is a donor.
Somebody wants to know if you're an organ and tissue donor.
Yes.
Hey, me too.
Are you a donor? Make sure your family knows your decision so there's no question later.
Feedback starts now. And I said, you know, it wouldn't a better name for a movie to come out now, and I think I'm going to make the movie or write the book. It would be a great book to have, and you can call to get her book. You can also find it online. Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be rather opinionated. People I know so. Let's ask them about scheduling. Why is it that students have such a problem here with?
Tune into Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and Wednesday night beginning at 7:30 p.m.
We're totally out of time. No time to talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant 226-8400.
Welcome back to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. Joining us in this segment is Dale Luthringer. He is the environmental education specialist out at Cook Forest State Park. Dale, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
I was telling you earlier, the reason that I wanted to do this show is because I think we have this beautiful state park out there in Cook Forest, and I don't think anybody knows about it, knows what's going on up there. Give us the PR pitch. What's out there to do? Why should we come up to Cook Forest?
Well, there's a whole lot of things to do at Cook Forest, not just because I like to do outdoor type stuff, but also when you go to Cook Forest, there's a whole variety of things that are there. We got the Clarion River runs right through the middle of it. You've got an old-growth forest. Some of those trees have been growing there. It's close to maybe 450 years old.
Amazing.
It's probably the easiest accessible old-growth forest in the eastern United States. We've got some of the tallest, largest trees in the state located in Cook Forest. We're looking at close to a little shy of 200 original acres of forest that haven't been touched. And if we look at current eastern old-growth forest standards and science, we're looking at close to almost 2,000 acres of old-growth forest. And so then we've got the Clarion River, we've got the old-growth forest area. A lot of people come to see the Forest Cathedral. Also, Fire Tower. It's the original fire tower. And throughout the summer, we've got a list of events of when we'll be doing a historical tour of that area. And at the end, we like to open the top of the tower up so people can take a look. And on a clear day, you might see maybe 10, 15 miles.
Wow, interesting. So it's, you know, spring has sprung, I guess. It's been nice out recently. What's there to do out in Cook Forest in the springtime? Is there anything special going on?
Well, talking about spring, we've probably heard a lot of the spring papers going out, and May 12th we're going to have a help sponsor a Pennsylvania Herpetological Atlas workshop at the park. And what we do is we go out and we're going to be eventually sampling, seeing what types of reptiles and amphibians we have out there. We're going right into the little forested woodland that we have, taking a look at egg masses and such, and offering that up to the public and for teachers, things of that nature. Doesn't cost anything. It's free to the public.
Yeah, a question about educational tours. I mean, what are you guys offering in the way of that? I mean, you kind of mentioned that on this here. What do you have for maybe some educators who are out there watching? What's available to them?
Well, we do environmental education programs from March to October. And a lot of times these are offered to teachers who have a lot of interest in these to bring their students to Cook Forest, and we take them out in the field and do hands-on activities to teach them about different aspects of the environment. Sometimes we'll go into schools in the area who request that. We also offer teacher and service workshops that they can get a credit towards their new Act 48 training.
Right.
And we've got a number of workshops that'll be going on for that. This year we're going to be having a Pennsylvania Songbird Workshop, which is July 11th and August 8th, and also Watershed Education Workshop, which goes July 25th and August 22nd.
So there's a lot out there. Now that's not only, I mean, that's for anyone can come out and do that. It's not just educators, right?
Well, with the teacher in-service workshops, a lot of times we're stressing teachers because they're trying to get their credits. But with the other programs that we have, we've got a listing of interpretive programs that, again, they'll go from about May through October. And those we're looking at servicing the general public. Local organizations, a lot of them request certain programs. We'll go up into the old-growth forest and we'll show them old-growth characteristics, how to notice that this is an old-growth area that hasn't been harvested in a long time. And so that when they go back home to their other areas, they can tell whether they're in a old-growth forest.
So, like I said here, the reason I wanted you on was because people aren't taking advantage of this. What aren't we taking advantage of out there that we probably should be taking advantage of?
Well, there's just a number of things that are available out there that maybe a number of people might not know about. Again, our interpretive programs, educational programs, we put those out in local newspapers. They're on our DCNR webpage. There are other local attractions. You can go to the Sawmill Center for the Arts to do a lot of theatrical productions, a lot of boating opportunities. We'll even do guided canoe trips down the Clarion River. There's horseback riding. We've got close to 30 miles of hiking trails in the park. Just shy of 7,000 acres of forest state park land. We've got camping, electric sites that are there available. And then not to forget Clear Creek State Park, which is about 10 miles upriver. And they have, they have a lot of educational programs for the teachers and the public also.
How can people get in touch with you or somehow see what's going on out there? What's the best ways to find out the information?
If they're interested in scheduling a program, best thing for them to do is to call the park at 814-744-8407. If they want to look and see what events are going to be coming up in the near future, they can go right to the DCNR webpage and look under State Park's calendar of events. And also, if they come into the park, they can stop at the park office and pick up a listing of programs that will be available.
Well, there's a lot of ways to get the information then.
Yes, sir.
What are the popular spots? When you see people coming out there, where's the most heavily visited places that you see? Where maybe some people haven't been there? Where can they be going, the popular spots?
Well, the spots that are usually hit most often are pretty much 3 areas at the park. We look at a lot of use up in the Forest Cathedral area. They hike the Longfellow Trail. Takes them right up into the old-growth forest. We're looking at it depends from year to year. I think last year we had close to 60,000 people who walked that hiking trail alone. Many people come to spend time along the Clarion River, lots of boating activities.
It's beautiful up there.
And we'll do historical tour programs up around the Fire Tower Seneca Point area. And I think last year we had 1,000 people show up for one of those programs to get up into that.
Wow. Well, you know, we're out of time, but certainly people can head up there. I'm certainly going to try to head up there. Very interesting. Dale, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Feedback after this.
The programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Carpet Barn. The Carpet Barn is located at 470 South 5th Avenue in Clarion. The Carpet Barn is open Monday through Saturday for all your carpet needs. So call the Carpet Barn, 226-7332.
Wardrobe for some TV5 news anchors, provided by Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all, with many different styles. Fashion Bug also offers a wide selection of accessories. Fashion Bug is located in the Clarion Mall, just off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m., and Sunday from noon till 5.
On the big highway of life, there's only one safe place for kids. The front seat's not the place to drop out. Don't want that big old bag to pop out. Put that booties in the back seat now. Have that in the kitchen, never be out. Here to remind you to put them behind you. Wow! Look at here. To stay alive even when I drive.
And welcome back to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. Joining us in this segment is TV5 News' very own Amanda Miller. We sent her out instead of me doing the interview this time. She did an interview about the Dave Matthews Band. What did you find out?
Well, it was very informative. We talked about everything from the rise of the Dave Matthews Band to what they've been doing recently. And the book is Dave Matthews Band, Step Into the Light by Morgan Delancey. And when I spoke to her, the first question that I asked her was what it was that inspired her to write the book.
Them backstage in 1996, a couple of nights in a row here in Los Angeles, and I had loved their music for 2 years before that, and I was just so impressed by how nice they were and how extraordinarily talented they were and how much they cared about people. It just was, I was really quite moved by it, and just how nice they were to me, and too was really incredible. So I heard about the book, and it made me want to write it because I thought a lot about people who would be trying to write the book, and I realized there would be people who would try to write it who had never met them or, really just thought it was a good job and really didn't understand what had happened with their music and how long it had taken them and all that stuff. So that's really what made me want to apply for the job. It was a publisher, Robert Lecker in Canada, who also loved the band, who was the one who thought of the book. So I just didn't think of the book myself, but I heard about the job, and after I had already met, the band.
They've sold over 20 million records and is one of the top touring acts in the country. How did the band build such a strong fan base?
Well, as they've often said, it's really been through word of mouth, and because they made that incredibly smart decision to let people tape their shows, and to not penalize anyone for doing that. Because they started out just touring constantly. I mean, they really are road warriors par excellence. And because they toured so much in 1991, 1992, 1993, they started to be known throughout the Southeast, especially on the sorority fraternity circuit. And those college students managed to send their tapes of the band to their friends across the country. And so a sort of underground networking started with people who had access to those tapes and wanted to see the band even though they hadn't necessarily played in their area or obviously hadn't recorded before. So I really think that their talent, that, you know, they are an extraordinarily talented group of musicians, and their ability to always perform live, I mean, I just can't stress that enough. That was captured on tape, and that's really the dissemination of that is what I think made their grassroots rise to the top happen.
How do you think that they've remained so popular?
Because they're workaholics, and they are workaholics, and they never ever they always surpass themselves. They are never satisfied with the level of what they've just produced. They are true artists, and they're always striving to be better, and so they keep challenging themselves. And I think that what we just saw happen this year with, you know, canning the Lily White sessions and then releasing every day, regardless of what people think of it. I mean, I personally prefer the Lily White sessions to every day, but
yeah, me too.
You know, I mean, I'm sure we could talk a lot about that. But regardless of what you think of those two, that was a really brave maneuver for Dave to plug in and to try and take a new direction. And so they're always doing that. They're always trying to mix it up, and they work like crazy. I mean, Dave must play 200 plus nights a year. You know, and he obviously doesn't need the money. So these are people who are truly dedicated musicians, and I think that they really provide a model for anyone who wants to be a musician of how to make it, because, you know, most of them studied music. Those are the two you know, who are the youngest who didn't study music, practice constantly. I mean, everyone really, I mean, of course, being the Dave Matthews Band is enough of a study of music right there, but you know what I'm trying to say, 3 of them had formal music training, and the other 2 who didn't constantly played and really got their chops up. And so they really are, I think, a paradigm of what it takes to make it, and just to keep playing and to keep practicing and go for it. And I just see that in them all the time. I mean, they treat it as a real job, and they care about it, and they have passion. And, you know, you can't fake passion, and they have that, too. They love music. So there's a lot of stuff that I've just very, very recently written about the band in the last, just really covering their last 4 years, and I just thought it was incredible what happened with the Lily White sessions and the mystery of it and how they got online. And, you know, how did you get them?
What, the Lily White? I don't have them.
Oh, you don't? No. You haven't heard the 12 songs?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my gosh, Mandy, you've got to.
Oh, make me feel bad.
Well, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to say, honestly, you're missing an incredible treat. I mean, I think it would have won a Grammy. I mean, it's really, really great. Well, mysteriously, over the weekend of March 23rd to March 25th, these songs were released on Napster. There's several stories about how it happened. One story is that a guy in a cover band, a DMB cover band, mysteriously received them in his mailbox or at his home, and then called several people asking what he should do with them. He was convinced and helped by several people to put them up on Napster. After they were distributed on Napster, several people put them up on websites. I mean, a lot of people did, so that you could download the MP3s. And there was this mad frenzy for them that lasted at least 10 days. RCA finally wrote letters to people asking them to remove them from websites. So, but the band never officially commented. Steve Lillywhite commented that although he could not condone the release of them, he felt that this music was among the most moving music he'd recorded with DMB. And there were songs that we had all heard last year on tour, like Bartender, JTR, Grace Is Gone. Yeah. But there were some other wonderful songs that most people hadn't heard, and there were unfinished songs, and it was really clear they were unfinished, and it was fantastic view into the process of DMB, and, you know, how the music had been written first for them, and how Dave was still playing around with the lyrics so much that you can hear him talking through cues on some of the songs, like Kit Kat Jam. And it's just it's one of my favorite CDs they've ever not released. I mean, they haven't released it, but, you know, it's just incredibly musically. Big Eyed Fish is a song I wasn't familiar with before the Lily White Sessions, and it's a fantastic song. Really features the musicianship. The Lily White Sessions, almost more than any other CD, to me, featured Leroy and Boyd, and Carter. I mean, it was really, really featured their virtuosity, their extraordinary musicianship, and it really accented it on several songs. So I spent a lot of time listening to that. That's also going to be covered in the revision.
Well, did you consider them to be very downbeat songs? Because that's the reason why they said that they...
I know, isn't that wild? No, they're no more downbeat than any other CD they've ever released.
Yeah, because they've never been very... I mean, a lot of the songs aren't upbeat, and that's what... Some of the best songs, I think, are the ones that aren't, and I was just surprised to hear that they were thrown out for being too downbeat.
Well, you know, a record executive told them that.
Right, yeah.
I think everyone should be really excited for the upcoming tour because... as I was saying a few minutes ago, there will be 2 CDs worth of material now that everyone will be familiar with, and it'll be like a bonanza to be able to hear them play from both. Even though we'd already heard some stuff from the Lily White Sessions, now we all know what those 12 songs were, and it will be great to hear them play both from Every Day and That.
Okay. Now, this book was released in 1998. Since then, it's become one of ECU Press's best-selling titles, and she is currently working on another book about the Dave Matthews Band. And as it's inspired by this book as a response, fans started writing in their own first-hand experiences with the Dave Matthews Band, sending in never-before-seen photos of the band and their fans, and they took a collection of this and made it into this book, Fanfare, written by the fans. And from this book, they are going to write a fanfare about the band Fish next. So that's what's to come.
There's a pretty huge following out there for this.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
I had a chance to listen to the interview. We taped it last week, and I was listening it. And probably the thing that everybody noticed when Morgan kind of gasped that you didn't have the Lily White Sessions.
Yeah.
Well, here they are. I've managed to, I found a copy of them, so now you will have them. And
wow. Oh, my goodness.
You're prepared for the summer concerts, right?
Wow. So, that is so nice. Thank you.
Well, how long have you been a fan here?
Since the release of, I would say, their first CD, within the CD 94, Under the Table in Germany.
And have you looked through the fanfare book?
Yes, I have.
And there's, like, unpublished photos?
There's unpublished photos. There's things that, fans wrote in. He is incredible to his fans. I mean, he's been known to call fans and they don't think that it's him that actually calls them. There was one about a woman who wrote to the Dave Matthews Band and wanted them to sing at her wedding, and then her fiancé died in a car accident, and Dave sent her a sympathy card wrote all these nice things to her. I mean, they're just incredible to their fans. And
as we were saying as we were editing this, he lets people tape, or did, I don't know if it still does, lets people tape the concerts.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think so too, but obviously that works out.
He's making the money.
Yeah, actually some of the CDs that they have released are, the best CDs are live from some of his concerts.
Really?
I mean, obviously they're, not pirated or anything, but they're the best is live.
Well, interesting.
Yes.
So you can find these books online, I'm sure. Go to Amazon or whatever. They may be in your local bookstore. Thank you for doing the interview with us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
And we are going to take a break on feedback, and we'll be back right after this to say goodbye. You want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens? Then tune into Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 News crews join with crews from the world's news leaders, CNN, to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 News can bring you the latest news as it happens. So tune in every Tuesday and Wednesday night for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
Hi, everybody.
everybody. I'm Brandy. How would you like to give hope to millions of the world's children? UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, is saving lives in over 140 countries by providing kids with medicine, clean water, nutrition, and education. With your help, UNICEF can make a huge difference in our world. For more information, call 1-800-FOR-KIDS. Thank you.
And welcome back to Feedback. A minute or two left here. We want to keep Mandy up here for a second. Last night was your last ever TV5 newscast.
Yeah.
Graduating from Clarion here in a couple weeks. As news director, I just want to thank you for your months, I guess, a few months of service with us, and thanks for all the hard work and good job.
Fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. So what's next for you?
I have to do an internship this summer, and then hopefully sticking around Pittsburgh and getting a job.
What's the internship?
It's in public relations. It's at a place called Draws and Associates, Media Relations. I'm looking forward to it.
And then you're looking forward to a Dave Matthews concert in Pittsburgh, right?
Well, I guess not this summer. None scheduled yet, but we'll see. Maybe.
All right. Well, thank you once again for all your months of service with us. That's it for Feedback tonight. Actually, but you're going to be back on the show next week because it's the Anchor Free-for-All, one of our favorite shows here at TV5. We get all the anchors up here. Carrie, Kelly, Susan, and Mandy will be up here talking about whatever we come with. That is next Wednesday night at 7:30. Thanks for joining us. The news with Kelly and Carrie is up next. We will see you back here a week from today.